I just filmed a whole ass video just to refilm it because I wasn't happy with the shit I was talking about. Hi everyone, I'm Fraelise and welcome back to my channel. If you've watched any of my last videos, you'll see that we're in a new spot. Once again, this is my 4th video and my 3rd location. I moved about 10 feet down the hall from my last room. The room is just bigger. It has more space for me to move my things around. Set up my bookshelf here and I'm actually really happy with it. I love how it came out. I think it's super pretty. And I really want this plant to like live more because I think it's dying. All my faves on this shelf. I have so I'm gonna apologize in advance because I am a very unorganized bitch and I didn't film a YouTube video before I moved, and I moved right after my last video went up. And now we have workers working on redoing our roof and I'm very appreciative of them, but it's loud. So today I'm going to be recommending my favorite serial killer romance. Yeah, if you like your heroes morally gray to the extreme, if you like serial killers, then hop right on into this video. I'm just going to say before we hop into the video, this one is going to be a few different videos, but I'm going to space them out. I'm not going to upload them all at the same time. So this is definitely different from a psychopath romance. This is a serial killer romance. Well, I guess they're not that different. These RECS are just different. They're specifically serial killers. I rolled through all of the books that I've read recently, and I just went like, oh, this one is psycho. It's not really serial killer. Like, the character doesn't have a thirst for blood and a thirst for kill all the time. But luckily, I have read tons lately where they do have a thirst for blood all the time. Literally in any like situation where they're not comfortable, they're like, I need to kill. So these are those specific RECS. Okay, the first one I'll be talking about is the Born Darkly Duet. It is a duet, but I'll be talking about it as one book, like the synopsis, as one whole, by Trisha Wolfe. And this was phenomenal. It's very taboo. It's very dark. There's a lot of murder. This follows London and Grayson. London is a psychotherapist. Is that the right one? Is that the right word? Psychologist. I mess those up all the time. I don't even know if I said psycho or psychopath right in the beginning. I'm sorry. So she's a psychologist and she works at a jail with patients that are either serial killers or something along those lines. And even though her workload is very full, she ends up accepting Grayson as a client because she finds him very fascinating. And so we see their therapy sessions where they go back and forth. She's trying to therapize him, but he ends up therapizing her. It's so cool to see because she's like literally the trained professional and he's doing a better job than her. She has a lot of shit from her past that we uncover throughout the story, which I was like completely confused by. I was shocked. Didn't fully get it, couldn't wrap my head around it, to be honest. But they have a relationship, quite forbidden, quite taboo. And then when Grayson escapes, he finds her and they go on a killing spree for most of book 2. It is a happy ending. They do reconcile. They are running from the law. London literally has police officers and FBI agents like hounding her, like, where's Grayson? Where's Grayson? We know you had an intimate relationship with him. And she doesn't say shit. Stop. We have one of my favorite short series of all time, if not my fave. This is the Mindfuck series by Abbey. Literally, I'm obsessed with this. I read it like almost a month ago. Still think about it every day. This follows Lana and Logan. Lana is a serial killer. She turned into a serial killer after multiple horrific events that happened in her small town when she was younger, and literally multiple books in this video just make me hate small towns. And I live in a small town, so... And then Logan is our FBI agent, and they actually meet in a cafe right at the beginning of the book. I think it is a bit insta-lovey. I thought so. But then when you get through the book and then we figure out at the end that it was actually possibly not a chance meeting. Lana's very new to the girlfriend thing. She tries to be like the perfect girlfriend, all while leading a second life of avenging all the men who have wronged her past. And Logan follows a series of cases that leads him back to her hometown where the horrific event happened, and he finds out who she is, what she went through, just at the beginning of the 5th book, maybe the ending of the 4th, and you see them reconcile from there, heal, and they do have a happy ending. To me, it was the only happy ending they could have had. I was quite interested to see how Abbey wrote this, but I think the ending was phenomenal and just what I was hoping for. And Lana is a true serial killer. She's got blood and Logan on her mind. So, and next we have a prologue novella and the first book in a series. It is about a marriage in trouble. We're going to talk about the first one, the prologue novella, first. This is My Name is Pink by Veronica Lancet. And this follows another female serial killer. I wanted them back to back. They are in their whole other league, their god tier. So Bianca is our serial killer in this. She is a female assassin or serial killer for the Bratva, and she's a boss-ass bitch. She's at the club one time with her partner, Vlad, partner in crime, quite literally, and she sees Theo from across the club and is instantly like, I want him, which may seem a little insta-lovey, but, I mean, her psychopath tendencies, her obsessive tendencies kind of make sense. So she becomes a stripper at the club he frequents to try and seduce him, and it totally works. And all the while, he, an NYP commissioner, is actually meeting with the mafia. I didn't quite understand that aspect. He frequently visits with mafia bosses, men, because he's trying to dig through his past and a lot of tragic events that happened. And in one of those meetings, he meets Bianca, who is a mafia boss's daughter. And she's really young. She's about 18 and he's like 24. Well, I don't think that's too much of an age gap, especially for a book. Real life, that's obviously different. He's like, oh my god, she's so young. So he courts her for like fucking a long time before they finally date, and then they get married, I believe in the second book, or maybe at the end of this one. So yeah, it's a marriage in trouble. Bianca has two personalities. She has the stripper that he fell in love with, and the mafia daughter that he married. And it was so cool to see him like go to Bianca, the stripper Bianca. Her name is Pink. Literally, her ego is pink. It's so cool. And it's so funny to see him go to her and be like, I'm dating someone now and I'm really involved in her. And she's like, who is this bitch? And then later she figures out it's her. Yeah, it's pretty funny. And then after the prologue, we have Morally Corrupt, where you see them after they're married. They're now in a really like docile, meek relationship, and Bianca is not fulfilled, but she's a serial killer. She wants the dark shit, she wants the rough stuff, and he comes home to her and is like, oh, my little piece of glass on a shelf. I'm not going to say too much about the second one because there is a few plot twists, but it also deals with addiction, and I love when books have a real life aspect like mental health or addiction, just because we don't always see that. Tends to be glamorized, and I don't love that. So I really appreciated that aspect of this book. I just all around fucking enjoyed this book, thoroughly recommend it, and perfect for this trope. And next up we have Cole from the Sinners Duet, I believe, by Sophie Lark. The first one, There Is No Saint, and then the second one, There Is No Devil. I'm going to be talking about them as a whole, like I do. This I thoroughly enjoyed. I didn't love the second one as much. I just felt like it was a little bit dragged on. It's into the serial killer aspect perfectly. So Cole and Mara are both artists. Cole is very successful, Mara is still aspiring, and Cole is in a war, I guess, of serial killers in San Francisco. I believe it's San Francisco? Somewhere artsy, whose name is Shaw, I believe. And Cole takes notice to Mara, and then Shaw sees that, I think, and then tries to get close to Mara and tries to kill Mara and literally almost succeeds. I wouldn't quite say he protects Mara from Shaw. Stalks her, he's watching her all the time, he's keeping an eye on her. We should say that. He's keeping an eye on her. He helps sell her paintings, and he's actually the perfect like hype man for her once they do get into a relationship. So it follows them actually once they get into a relationship, and then in the second book we see them running from Shaw and making sure Shaw doesn't kill her. The second book is a bit slower. You more see their backgrounds, which was quite nice to see, but there wasn't as much serial killer, there wasn't as much spice. Cole is the perfect serial killer for this trope. He definitely fits it. The next one we have is Her Vigilante by Lillian Lark, and this fits into this trope perfectly, literally perfectly, but I can't say why because it'll spoil it. This follows FBI agent Evelyn. Don't find her name hot. I wish she changed it. An FBI agent, she's following a bunch of serial killer cases. It's driving her mad. Her and her partner and the other FBI agent that's working with them are following this lead for a very long time. They're getting nowhere, and then pops up a copycat serial killer. So she's gone crazy. She's super frustrated by this case. She ends up blowing off some steam with her co-worker, one of the FBI agents on the case, and then shit goes down. There is groveling in this. It is perfect. I thoroughly enjoy this. I gave it 4.5. Even though it's a novella, I never do that. So yeah, this was really awesome, and I can't say too much about it without ruining it, but this fits into the serial killer trope perfectly, literally to a T, and I really, really recommend this one. And my last one for today is Souls Unfractured by Tillie Cole, and this is in the Hades Hangman series. So I do recommend reading the first 2 books before. They're really great too, so you won't struggle to get through them. But this one fits this trope to a T. Flame is literally lusting for blood 24/7 when he's not lusting after Maddie. This is a motorcycle club romance. He is part of the psycho trio, that's what they call them, and definitely a serial killer. He also has Asperger's, so he struggles to connect fully with people and understand people, but in his relationship with Maddie, it just comes so easily. So Maddie is saved from a cult. She was treated horribly, and she really doesn't understand this new world, but Flame is like her protector. At first he was appointed to protect her, keep her safe, make sure nobody comes for her again, but then he has a connection with her, and it is so cute to see. He's in the books before, he totally doesn't know what's going on, and then you just see him become literally perfect in this book, and it was super emotional. We figure out his past, which is absolutely horrific, and how him and Maddie just connect on another level, I swear. And there actually is, I believe the 7th or 8th book is a continuation of them, but I haven't actually gotten there yet. But I do fully recommend this one. I enjoyed it a lot. I did think she could have played into the blood plane aspect, but I do get it was published in 2014, but I feel like this was pushing boundaries, and I really liked that. So that is my disorganized list for today's video. I really appreciate you guys watching this. I'm sorry for being late on this. Honestly, I feel like a fucking shit show right now, and that is not what I want. Obviously, I started this YouTube channel just super glad to do it because there was finally some peace and quiet. Now look where we are. We are not in peace and quiet land. So thank you guys so much for watching. I would really appreciate if you could like, subscribe, and comment which one of these you want to put on your TBR. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy these recommendations, and I'll be back in another video soon. Bye!